Hello guys and welcome to another TF2 video with your boy Mr. Speed. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play Freak Fortress 2 as a scout, otherwise known as modded versus Saxton Hale, which is not really very different from versus Saxton Hale, but it's more fun in my opinion. And I feel like it's a little bit harder, however this guide will help you become better at both of them. So without wasting any time, let's jump right into it. First up, we have mobility. Scout, as well everybody knows, is a decent mobile class that can offer you a good deal of damage and a decent mobility. It's actually the second fastest class after the boss itself. However, some bosses will be a little bit slower, some bosses may be a little bit faster, but that really depends on the boss itself. But in general, Scout has a lot of mobility that allows them to pretty much parkour around the map and avoid the boss melee attack range. As a scout, you're gonna have to be familiar with the map you're playing on and be able to jump around the platforms, around the props of the map without looking at it, as you will be focusing your vision solely on the boss. And that will help you avoid any surprise attacks, as you may not be as fast as the boss, but you are the fastest class in your team, so you damn right better put that to your advantage. And you got a second jump as well. Please don't forget about that. Some people tend to forget for some reason, I don't know why. So put them to good use, and not to mention other items that will help you becoming even more obnoxious to deal with. Knowing your enemy is very important, and that will be our second point. Knowing the boss you're facing is very important, as it will help you strategize and finding the best way to approach it and deal damage to it. Some bosses can be hard to be approached, some bosses can be easier, some bosses equipped with area of effect. All of this you will be acquiring through your own experience and time spent in the server. Also, you gotta be able to be aware of the range that the boss have. Because most of the times it's not the boss melee attack that will hit you, it's basically the rage. And the rage will allow them to be able to get closer and kill you. Other bosses can be equipped with weapons, for example like Christian Burrow Sniper from Vsh Saxton Hale, or other bosses that can be really hard for you to avoid. It's also very worthy to check the boss health bar, as it can be an indicator when the boss is about to rage. However, it's not always guaranteed. Some players will be really smart about using their rage at the right time, but do remember that the less experienced players will most likely rage whenever they have it. So it's a good strat to keep a distance when you check the boss health when he lost about 3 to 4,000 HP, or maybe even get backstabbed or stomped, as it tends to get the player raging for some reason, instead of just saving it for the right time. And that's what mostly happens with the people that plays bosses in Vsh Saxton Hale Freak Fortress. Which brings me to my third point: be always on the move. In any first-person shooter game, whether it's a Call of Duty or CS or even TF2, it's always generally a good idea to be always moving. Being standing still makes you a very easy target to get. With bosses having teleports or super jumps, it's always ideal to be moving around in hopes that the boss doesn't land on you, resulting in a Goomba stomp or dying from getting in his range by getting caught off guard. You also need to keep your eyes on the boss, which goes without being said. I know sometimes you might get distracted, but if you aren't seeing the boss, that you may get picked by him while he's jumping or teleporting around you, which sometimes I die to that a lot myself. You know, it's a very important step that you keep your eye on your target. You also need to stick around your teammate, as they're not only they will help you, but sometimes they'll get targeted instead and soak up damage for you. And the longer you live, obviously, the more damage you deal, so you have to try and stay alive as much as you can. Number 4 is going to be the loadouts. Now, this may be a little bit different from server to server, because every server has its own loadouts and weapon balancing. However, I'm gonna share some of my loadouts ideas here in hope that you figure one that suits you the best. The first one that I like the most is you either use a Force of Nature or Soda Popper. We're gonna use Pistol on secondary, and for melee we're gonna be using the Sandman. Having crits on the pistol allows me to just attack and deal great amount of damage without risking getting too much close to the boss. And using the Force of Nature as a way to either do a third jump or push back the boss. It's basically allow you to escape more than dealing damage. And Sandman is pretty much a way to stun the boss from a distance to help my teammate to either do some damage or escape. And the one thing I think this loadout weakness is pretty much ammo, as the pistol will run out of ammo quite often and you're gonna be running for packs all around the map. So make sure to stick around the dispenser and make sure you thank your fellow engineer for it. And for the other loadout I use pretty much the default Scattergun, Winger, and Rap Assassin. In this loadout, we're gonna be mainly dealing damage with the Scattergun, so it's gonna be a little bit risky. You're gonna have to get closer to the boss a little bit and to be able to deal damage. However, do remember that some servers allow you to have crits for a few seconds after taunting. So make sure you also be aware of you're surrounded when you're gonna be taunting. Either minions or the boss itself before you do it, because you're gonna be vulnerable for a couple seconds. And with the Winger, it just means to be escape. You can use it to escape since it helps boost your jump, it helps you avoid the melee range of the boss a little bit faster, and also helps you reach some areas in some maps. And also help you reach some places you wouldn't otherwise reach with a normal double jump with the Scout. And the Rap Assassin, I pretty much picked it here because it has 2 ornaments instead of 1. It's just purely for poking damage. However, I do think you could switch that out for either the Sandman again or the Atomizer if you want to have a third jump. Whatever you deem fitting for the loadout. And with that being said, that's pretty much how you play Scout in versus Saxton Hale or Freak Fortress 2. And one thing you always hear is in these tutorial videos is practice, and I cannot really stretch this enough. As you play and have more fun and get familiar with your loadout, you'll be eventually becoming better and better, especially after you apply my tips. And I hope my tips have been helpful to you guys, and do let me know if you have any questions. I'll reply in the comment section. And I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I want to let you know that the next guide video is going to be about soldiers, so if you don't want to miss it, do like the video and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, and goodbye.